Hey everyone, and welcome to What Did I Miss? Where today I'll be breaking down and going over all the Easter eggs and references that you may have missed in the second episode of the third season of Star Trek Lower Decks titled The Least Dangerous Game. This was another fun fish out of water type episode that saw the Lower Decks crew in situations that they were clearly not qualified for, but trying to make the best of. This of course is the basic premise of the entire series, that these are ensigns in Starfleet that are not quite ready for the bridge crew, but have the heart and desire to be better. I always find it very refreshing whenever I get to watch a new episode of Lower Decks, because I know that I'm in for an entertaining ride with some great characters, and this series continues to deliver week in and week out. They also promise to bring in some great references and callbacks within their stories, and I'm here to point out all those instances and other things that you may have missed. But before I do, I want to sincerely thank you for clicking on this video, and ask that if you do enjoy it, to think about hitting the like and subscribe buttons to help my channel. Lower Decks breakdowns in particular do not always do as well as some of my other videos, but I really enjoy sharing my love for the show with other people. So if you love Lower Decks, be sure to help me out too by liking and subscribing to my videos. The episode title, The Least Dangerous Game, is an inverted reference
because I was inverted
of the short story The Most Dangerous Game, which is a tale about a big game hunter who finds himself being hunted by another man. Star Trek has often constructed episodes and even entire alien cultures around the concept of hunting and the relationship between prey and predator, and many of those are included as references in this episode. For instance, the Deep Space Nine episode titled Captive Pursuit involves a similar plotline with a member of a predator race hunting an alien as a rite of passage on the station. The episode begins with the return of the character Martok, who is voiced by the actor who played him, J.G. Hertzler. Martok was a pivotal character on Deep Space Nine, first appearing as an adversary in disguise and then as one of the Federation's most powerful allies during the Dominion War. While this is the first time on a Trek series that Mr. Hertzler has returned as his most famous role, he has voiced a character on Lower Decks before, voicing a similarly one-eyed character in the first season episode Terminal Provocations. Martok is speaking as part of an interactive board game named Batlifts and Binooks, which is a cross between the popular fantasy game Dungeons & Dragons as well as the lesser-known video-based board game that was released in the 1990s named Star Trek The Next Generation, A Klingon Challenge. Coincidentally, actor Robert O'Reilly plays the main Klingon in that game named Kavok, and his better-known Klingon character Gowron is referenced as being a part of an expansion for the game played in this episode.
I've been trying to get the Gowron expansion for months.
Glory to you and your house.
I also like that it is revealed that Martok is still alive and Klingon Chancellor, a role that he earned towards the end of Deep Space Nine with help from Worf. Rutherford and Tendi reveal to Boimler that their former comrade Vendome was promoted to be a field captain of the Inglewood. Vendome is a Bolian character that appeared in 3 episodes in both the first and second seasons of Lower Decks, mostly in the background. Boimler references his appearance in the episode Temporal Edict, specifically with this line.
What? But he's a goofball! Vendome's a guy who gets hit with a spear on a away mission!
The fact that the name of the ship that he transferred to is the Inglewood all but confirms that the ship is also a California-class ship like the Cerritos, since all the California-class ships that we have seen on the show have been named after cities or towns in the state of California, and Inglewood is very famously a city in the southern part of California.
Inglewood always up to no good.
Tendi mentions that the old captain of the Inglewood was turned back into a baby by a temporal rift. This could be a reference to the Next Generation episode Rascals, in which a transporter accident caused various members of the crew to become children again. Mariner goes on an assignment with Commander Ransom, where they are helping a race of aliens whose society is based on wellness with a broken space elevator. Mariner asks if these are the kind of aliens that kiss hello, which is the first of many references to the Next Generation episode titled Justice, in which the TNG cast come across a planet of similarly clad people. Back on the Cerritos, Boimler learns that upon becoming captain, Vendome makes his entire bridge crew Bolians, which is also the race of alien that he is. While this does sound kind of racist, we have heard of something similar before, as in the Deep Space Nine episode Take Me Out to the Holosuite, the team that the DS9 players are up against is a Federation bridge crew made up entirely of Vulcans. Boimler is then asked to play Spring Ball, a game that was first introduced on Deep Space Nine. It looks like Shax is an expert at the game, which makes sense since Spring Ball is a game that was created by the Bajorans. The outfit that the players are wearing also looked like the one worn by Dr. Bashir while he played the game on Deep Space Nine. Shax then asks Boimler if he would like to join his Dirge's choir. This would be the type of music played at a Vulcan funeral and was referenced a few times by Neelix on Voyager. Ransom checks in on Rutherford and Billups, who seem to be having a lot more fun than Mariner is having. Ransom warns Billups not to have too much fun and be crowned a king, which is referencing Billups' heritage as royalty. In the second season episode Where Pleasant Fountains Lie, Billups was on track to become the next king of his people before he was saved by the crew of the Cerritos. The people on the planet, as well as some of their beliefs and the setting, resemble the aliens and planet from the original series episode The Apple. Rutherford states that he is having so much fun that he thinks that he should transfer divisions again. This is referencing the second episode of Lower Decks, titled Envoys, in which Rutherford spends time in the different divisions of Starfleet to make sure that he is in the right place. After deciding to be a more assertive person, Boimler meets an alien named Karanch and agrees to be hunted by him. He spreads some green-looking blood across Boimler's forehead, which may be a clever reference back to the blood of the Predator alien, of which you could argue many of the hunter races in Star Trek are based on. The hunt begins, and Boimler is sent running for his life through the ship. At one point, he visits Cetacean Ops, a facility within the Cerritos that helps with the ship's navigation. The area had been referenced before on The Next Generation as being a part of the Enterprise D and housing dolphins. However, the creatures currently working in Cetacean Ops on the Cerritos are beluga whales named Kimolu and Matt. Things are also getting worse on the planet for Rutherford, who reveals that the people there now want to kill him and Billups for not wearing the correct thing while in a hollow place. This is also referencing the Next Generation episode Justice, in which the hot-kissing aliens turn hostile toward young Wesley Crusher after he falls into a sacred area. Rutherford also tells Ransom that these aliens may worship a telepathic baby. This is referencing the first of many roles that Clint Howard would play, the Tranya-loving Baylock, from the original series episode, The Corbomite Maneuver. On the Cerritos, after Boimler becomes bold enough to take on his predator, he is then stabbed and easily defeated. After a selfie, Karanch reveals that his people practice catch and release hunting and have respect for all life. This earns Boimler the respect of his predator and a sore shoulder for the rest of his life. After Ransom and Mariner get to the planet, they see that Rutherford and Billups are about to be sacrificed to appease the aforementioned psychic baby and a sentient computer. The computer could be a reference to Vaal, the sentient computer from the aforementioned original series episode, The Apple. They all return to the Cerritos, and Boimler confirms that from here on out he will be a bolder version of himself. It feels like this is the season in which each character is going to get a story arc that somehow moves them forward and shows that they have evolved a bit in the 2+ seasons that we have watched them. Boimler, after being too afraid to make a mistake that would stop his rise in the ranks through Starfleet, has now decided to take more chances to achieve the same goal. Mariner, after having the opposite problem and taking chances without considering the repercussions, is slowly learning to follow and trust in the people around her. Tendi has been promoted to a senior program, which is allowing her more opportunities as well, and Rutherford, while also trying new things, may have a much larger upcoming plotline that concerns his cybernetic implant. I continue to enjoy watching these characters progress, and it being a fun and different corner of the Star Trek universe. Even Strange New Worlds seems to be taking some hints from the tone of Lower Decks, and brought back some funny and ridiculous situations for their crew to be in as well. So in my opinion, Lower Decks is not only a good show, but it is also having a positive effect on the franchise and the fandom as a whole. That is just what I think. Let me know how you feel about Lower Decks. Well, that is everything that I saw, but let me know in the comments if I missed anything. Thank you very much for watching this video. Please hit that like button if you have enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time on What Did I Miss?